Ant as in relative, ant as in busy little crawling pest.
I think they're sweet.
Only with jam on them.
Ugh, what a thought.
Would you prefer chocolate covered?
Don't be disgusting. They are one of God's creatures and have the right to do what they are created to do.
And what is their function besides infesting any piece of unattended food?
Oh, I don't know, but that's beside the point. They have a right to simply be.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get rid of them before the colony gets too big.
How?
I can't use one of those poison boxes. One of your wretched dogs will probably eat it up. So I'll have to pour boiling water on them.
Pour water on my dogs.
Not the dogs, the ants. But now that you mention it.
You swine, you leave my babies out of this. Must you be this way? It has to be agony for those poor little things.
What would you have me do then? Perhaps I should reason with them, and if that fails, I can petition Parliament to have them deported back to their homeland, the Antilles Islands.
Nonsense. How could they have got here from there?
I don't know. Maybe they stowed away inside a box of cigars, or built a raft and floated up the Gulf Stream.
You know, I think Disney is a wonderful place for children, but it seems to send certain adults completely out of their minds. You better stick to pornography in the future.
No, I suppose you're right, but some of the things I see there are just so far-fetched, even I don't believe it's real.
Enough of this pre-varication. We were discussing the miracles of spring.
No, we were not. You were twittering on about it, and that is not a discussion.
If I never said anything, it would be as still as a grave around here.
Well, perhaps if you would chatter less, the ants would get bored, leave of their own accord, and that would solve two of my problems in one day.
My, we're in a happy mood today.
I'm sorry, it's just this spring thing depresses me.
It used to revitalize you.
Oh, that's when I was a lad. Don't you remember, darling? I was filled with an uncontrollable urge to increase the size of the human race. But the more I see of it, it's better off acknowledged as a failed experiment by the Creator that should have been abandoned at the Adam and Eve stage.
So you don't like dogs?
No.
Or ants?
No.
Or people?
No.
Or me this morning?
No.
Is there any life in which you do approve?
The goldfish are okay.
You don't think everybody have to change the water?
Maybe we should eat them.
Sometimes. No. Correction. Frequently. You are beyond my comprehension.
Well, at least it is no great distance.
Charm.
I apologize. I know I'm being unreasonable today.
At least something is normal.
I don't mind seeing flowers bloom in the spring, but the troglodytes isn't there. You have to consider all the things that go with it. There's growing grass, there's cleaning windows, cleaning out the cars. It's dreadful.
I know you find all forms of physical labor a great inconvenience, but there are some things that just have to be done.
I shower, shave, and perform the other function every day.
That reminds me, the aerosol in the bathroom is empty. You know, I told you for years you don't have to shave. A beard would suit you.
I suppose it'd be less of my face to look at than wouldn't it?
Suit yourself. You know, I don't know which of you I have the most problem with. The cantankerous weekender you, or the working day smarmy you when you switch to bank manager mode.
What is there positive to say about mosquitoes?
They're not a problem for you. It's me they always want to eat.
Well, at least they seem to have good taste. But they're always buzzing in my ear.
Oh, you poor thing. Never mind if you find a way through the wax. And as for the other things, there are positive points. You know, I've seen you mowing a particular piece of grass 10 times more when the neighbor is outside in her bikini. Or say that the upstairs window needs a good cleaning for the same reason.
You noticed that.
I'm not as silly as you think. And as in your case, you're about as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Well, I don't know why I do it. She's certainly not as attractive as you are.
Good grief, that is two compliments in the same moments of each other. Not at all sure the last one is true, but it is nice to hear. But as to why you find the need to ogle her, I think it's simply put that the other man's grass is always greener. But do what you want, look all you like, as long as you don't touch.
There's no need to worry about that. Her husband is a mean-looking brute.
Didn't you hear? It appears he has left her and she is living there all alone. speaking of her, does she have a name?
Juliet Jones, I believe.
And how would you know that? You have problems remembering your own name.
Ah, bloody ha! I'll have you know she came over and introduced herself the last time I mowed the grass in the autumn.
Yes, that's when I was away for the day. I was quite surprised by how industrious you had been, since there was a football match on the television.
It was simply too nice a day to stay inside and watch football.
Now those are noteworthy words. I've never heard you utter them before. What was that?
No idea.
Are you expecting anyone?
No? You?
No.
Well, go see who it is.
And why me?
Well, because I'm depressed, remember? I might frighten someone important away. Although, it could be your mother.
Don't
I mean,
bother.
which
If
case?
it is mother, I would like to know
No,
what's
no,
wrong.
I'm already up. I'll get it.
Stop it. Oh, you're so silly. Oh, hello. I thought Lenny was alone. Obviously. I'm Margaret, Leonard's long-serving wife.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Juliet Jones, your neighbor.
Yes, I've seen you outside quite a few times. But as you know, Leonard takes care of the garden. How naughty of me not to have called to make my acquaintance. I just always seem to be so busy.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so then when do I get a spare moment? I think it's quite important to relax. I find it very relaxing watching the men work. Don't you?
Oh, indeed. Especially when, like me, you're absolutely hopeless as regards to practical matters. My husband Roger is away on an extended business trip, and I cannot seem to understand how to start a mower. Lenny seemed to be so good at it. I was wondering if you could just show me the basics.
I'm sure Leonard will be delighted, but you should know. That piece of grass you see him mow is very special. He's less enthusiastic about the rest.
Pity. Well, I only want to keep it down to a reasonable length when it starts to grow. Or I guess I could get some sheep or goats in.
Yes, like a good ram on the grass, I always say.
Funny. Well, I think I'd rather stick with the mower. Could you spare Lenny for a few moments?
We have not quite yet finished breakfast, but perhaps later after he's washed up, cleaned the goldfish, murdered the ants, and filled his ears with anti-mosquito cream.
Wonderful. All right, well, I'll just go settle myself in the garden, Lenny. I'll wait for you there. Marge, it was so nice to have met you. Perhaps us two girls could get together sometime soon.
Perhaps. But I prefer to use my full name, Margaret.
Oh, no problem. Bye, Lenny, darling. Later, Marge.
So, Lenny darling, you seem to have made quite a hit here after only speaking to her once last autumn.
I may have spoken with her once or twice since then.
Including on one of our visits to the pub.
Now that you mention it, yes. Once or twice.
So it was a regular thing then. Didn't she mention that hers was on an extended business trip?
No, she did not.
So what did you and Julie talk about, Lenny, besides humdrum foodstuffs such as Marge?
I don't remember. You seem to be making an awful big fuss of this. There's nothing wrong with me having a conversation with the neighbors. It's a perfectly normal social thing to do.
Yes, as well as reading the Benefactor's Handbook, Chapter 1, How to be Obsequious. Although, maybe you're right. I am overreacting. Perhaps I should make more of an effort to fit into the community.
Perhaps so.
Yes. When did you last speak to Beatrice?
Who?
Beatrice Wilson, a 7-year-old lady who lives across the street from us, socially aware, Lenny baby.
You mean Mrs. Wilson? I wouldn't dream of calling her by her first name.
Didn't she tell you she's a spinster, proud of it, insists on being called Miss?
You seem to be making an awful big fuss of this. There's nothing going on between Julie and me.
I believe you, but hadn't you be riding off on your white horse to go and help her?
Perhaps I should do the cleaning first, as you said.
I'm sure I can manage to fill the machines I usually do.
Perhaps I should take the dogs for a walk.
I wouldn't want you to leave them astray.
I'll be off. But just so you know, there's nothing going on between Julie and me.
Then go and stop looking guilty about nothing.
I'll see you soon.
As long as you are aware that I will be seeing you sooner, because I'll be keeping my eye on you. Boys and their toys. At least his still works. You say you are a colleague of my husband.
Yes.
What is your name?
Burns. Robin Burns.
You don't seem Jewish.
No, not the rabbi. Robin. Short for Robert, as used in Scotland.
You don't sound Scots.
My father was seduced by an assassinator.
Pardon?
My father forced the Hyman's to marry my mother.
I can't remember my husband mentioning you, and I'm pretty sure he's told me about all of his staff. On the other hand, your name does sound familiar.
When I say colleague, I'm from head office. We never actually met in person.
Then why do you suddenly want to see him on the weekends?
It's delicate.
Couldn't you have telephones?
Too important for the telephone.
Very well. I'll go and get him.
Go.
Don't sit. Well, I just can't seem to find him. He must have run off with that neighbor of ours. Excuse me. Are you sitting in my house reading my husband's books? Who do you think you are? What kind of person comes to this
All right, awesome, let's go.
Wait, this is Mrs. Sanders, my boss's wife?
You're here to steal your boss's money. I think that's a little worse than what we're doing right now.
Oh, well, I suppose, but what if she sees me?
She'll only be out for an hour or so. That's all we need. Let's go. Holy hell.
Well, I finished mowing the grass and I'd like a sandwich. Hello, Margaret. Anyone home? What's this? Dear Mrs. Sanders, we have your wife. Come to the bank at once. Don't phone the authorities. We have very little patience. Come immediately. No, no, no.
Oh, darling, is something wrong? Oh, no. That is a problem. Are you going to call the police?
No.
Well, do you think they're serious about killing
Well,
her?
I'm not worried about that.
But surely you want her back.
Yes, but sometimes I do think about what life would be like with someone else.
Someone else?
Someone younger, livelier, or more vibrant than me.
Me?
Yes, you.
Lenny, I'm flattered, but I'm married.
Well, so am I.
But there you are.
My relationship is nothing special. I would happily get divorced for you. It's not me really away on business all this time.
To be honest, he's been made redundant and he's out looking for work.
You deserve to be cherished, and I can do that for you.
But you said a while ago that your job situation was
No
uncertain.
need to worry about that. I've taken care of everything.
Yes, but Rodri was an accountant, and you, however attractive I might find you, are just a bank manager. If I came to you, I'd be trading one boring world for another. I want some
that's what you need. I only have a question for you. Can you keep a secret?
If it's important to you.
Most banks don't keep much money in their vaults anymore. But mine does. And the reason I can't go down there now is because there's not nearly as much money in that vault as they think there is.
Why is that?
Because it's in the boot of my car.
What?
That's right. I was planning to get away, make a new life for myself. Say you'll come with me.
Is there enough for two if one of them is me with expensive taste?
Well, what would you say to 1, 2, 5 million
Oh,
dollars?
that'll do. Depending on, of course, maybe where we'd be living.
Oh, don't worry, I have a perfect location.
Some sort of primitive, remote island, you mean?
We'll have our privacy, yes, but it's certainly not primitive. I can't wait to show it to you, darling. Fantastic shops, great restaurants, there's even a spa.
I'll go pack.
Don't worry, darling. You can pack light. We'll buy everything new. You won't need much in the way of clothing once I get started with you.
Make me weak in the knees.
Yeah, that's right, Benny, old boy. From now on, things are going to be different.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Sanders.
Fiona, what are you doing here?
Well, I have a confession to make.
Are you going to tell me that you're madly in love with me as well?
Oh, yes! I wasn't going to say anything because I have nothing to offer you, and well, that's why I was stealing money from the vault.
Stealing from the vault?
Yeah, I knew it was stupid, but I did it for you.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. The only person apart from me who has access to the vault stealing.
I know it was dumb, but I did it for you. Please say you understand, Mr. Sanders. Oh, please say you understand. What?
This is not as it seems, darling. This is an employee who's come from the bank to confess she's been stealing from the vault.
She's stealing from the vaults as well. How many of you are at it?
Keeping a secret, darling.
You know, I thought those other piles of money looked strange. There's not a lot left at the bank, is there?
So you both been stealing, haven't you? I think it's about time we take a visit to the garage.
Yeah.
Rodri, what are you doing here?
Mr. Burns is supposedly kidnapping me.
You said in the note that I would never see my wife again alive unless I came down from the
Not happy to see me, Leonard.
I'm glad you came out safely, darling.
Right. You guys can all be cozy together.
Even me? Even you? But I thought we were partners.
We were partners until I found the money. Now I don't need you no more. And you know how the song goes. No woman, no cry.
I've heard better.
Okay, I have to do that, so.
Stop.
He's mine, whether he likes it or not.
He's promised himself to me.
Well, I'm more than happy to go down in the cellar, but not because of your threats.
Hey, I'm ready to use this now.
Stop it, Rodri. You're just an old softy at heart.
Yeah, besides, you would need these bullets. And I'm more than happy to go down there because of what I found in the cellar.
What was that?
Lots of money.
Money in the cellar.
As well as in the boot of the car.
So it would seem.
But if there's $5 million in the garage, lots in the cellar, where does it all come from? The bank isn't that big.
Is it all real?
No. Now for my cowboy bit. Hands up, all of you. I'm not afraid to use it, so I assure you is loaded.
Let us do as she says. She had a very determined boy.
The money in the boot of the car is all counterfeit and of my own creation. The rest is from the bank, and I chose to liberate it. It's all for me.
I am shocked.
Perhaps, but more than that, your cons. Go to the garage, go straight to the garage, and not pass any windows, and not attract anyone's attention. Let's go.
Karate chop! Shooting chop!
Well done, darling.
That's Detective Sergeant Darling, if you don't mind, chummy.
Good job, Sergeant. I think we caught them all.
Not so fast. My name is Fiona Francesca for 133 Farrington Phelps of Interpol, and you are all under arrest. You two, for conspiring to steal, aiding and abetting a felony, impersonation of police one Fifi Farrington Phelps could ever get into Interpol. But I am